So if you want a sweeter sounding voice, there are like four things you can do, or five. The first one is really easy. It's down talking. So what is down talking? It's when you end your sentence in a lower pitch than where it started. That's like the exact opposite of like up talking. So I'll give you an example. What's your name? What's your name? You'll notice the difference there. When I said, what's your name? I did up talking, where I end my sentence in a higher pitch than when it started. But down talking is like, what's your name? The last word ended on a lower pitch than the rest of the sentence. And when you have like a deeper voice, or when you end your sentence in a lower pitch than where it started, you sound very sure of yourself. You sound very confident. You might think that this makes you sound arrogant. It really doesn't. Up talking makes people think of you worse than like down talking. So down talking, if you want to actually do down talking, how you do it is you just say everything in the sentence at the normal pitch that you want to say it and you're used to saying it, but on the last word that you say, it has to be deeper than everything else. So for example, can you pass me that salt there? You'll notice that like I started at a very high pitch, but then I ended it at a lower pitch. So can you pass me the salt there? If you have like a naturally high pitched voice, then you can just keep your voice in a high pitch, but just have the last word of your sentence lower than everything else. So you don't have to change your behavior that much. And down talking is like very easy. It's just you just gotta keep doing it, and it becomes a habit. It becomes mindless very quickly. You don't need to think about doing it. You just do it. Right? Because I'll give you like one more example to really illustrate how powerful down talking is. So for example, oh yeah, I can solve the Rubik's Cube pretty quickly, and how you get fast at it is through look ahead. That's up talking. That's up talking, where I end my sentence in a higher pitch. That sounds really weird, and it's also unnatural for me. But I could start the sentence with a high pitch and end it on a low pitch, and you'd find it a lot more. You'd find it better, basically. So, oh yeah, I can solve the Rubik's Cube pretty fast. It's very simple. You just gotta do look ahead. Just ending it on a lower pitch makes it a lot better. And something to keep in mind, if you want to ask a question, don't be afraid to down talk. So for example, can you pass me the salt there? I down talked it there, right? That was a question. Can you pass me the salt there? As opposed to, can you pass me the salt there? Up talking versus down talking. When you ask a question, as much as possible, down talk the question. Which is really weird and unnatural if you're starting out, because we're so used to ending our questions in a higher pitch, because it just feels more natural. But the more you practice down talking, the more people will like you. This is all like very subconscious stuff that happens, but it does help you a lot. So that's the first thing that makes your voice sound sweeter. A down talking voice. When you have like a sweeter voice, people will just like you more. You will just be a magnet, as they say, magnet. Or magnetic. Or as the kids say it, Rizzy. So the second way you can make your voice sound better is just through speaking in a deeper voice overall. So in down talking, it's a lot easier than the method I'm about to describe, because like when you down talk, you're allowed to speak in the pitch that you always want to speak at. However, you just need to make an extra effort, a slight effort, to just make it slightly lower at the end. Whilst what I'm about to say is you need to make your overall pitch of voice lower, and also continue doing the down talking. So let's say I speak in my normal voice. I'm pretty sure this is my normal voice. It's pretty good, but if I were to make it slightly deeper, it would sound like this, a little bit deeper, as you can tell, versus my normal voice, which is slightly higher. Yeah. So this method is just to lower your overall pitch of voice, and how you can do that is just think to yourself, make your voice 10% deeper and 10% slower. Because like if you try to if you make it too deep, it sounds like really weird. You just make it deeper, just slightly deeper. 10% is already quite a lot, and it's enough to make people like you more, to have a sweeter voice. And also, speaking 10% slower will also help you with speaking deeper, so that you have more time to actually process the thing. And a lot of people they talk really fast, and it's really it makes them seem really unconfident in themselves. By speaking 10% slower, you seem more sure of yourself because you take your time. Right? So that's the second thing. You speak 10% deeper and 10% slower, because a deep voice is a powerful voice. It's literally powerful. If you get if you have a glass or something, and you speak, or you speak in a low voice, you will shake the glass. You will vibrate the glass. So it's also literally powerful. The third thing to making your voice sound sweeter is to just stop saying ah. For example, so remember that the thing I wanted to say is so you don't want to be doing that at all. You don't want to fill the silence with or ah, or so, and you don't want to say or ah whenever you don't know what to say. And so you might be asking me, if I can't say or ah during silence, what do I say? And when silence comes, just stay silent. That's how you eliminate pauses. Or that's how you eliminate ums and ahs. Whenever you have to pause to think, just pause. So I'll give the example I said from earlier. So that thing I was talking about earlier? Yeah, it's gonna happen again. And you notice I said again. Well, I'll return to that later. But basically, what you want to do is say, when you want to say or ah, just don't say anything. Just fill it with silence. Let the silence be silence. And although you might think differently for some of you, when you fill the silence with silence, you just pause when you don't know what to say, you seem a lot more professional and sure of yourself. And people like really don't like someone who like stutters or says or ah. So just replacing the ums and ahs with pauses with silence is really useful and helpful. You seem more sure of yourself. And sometimes you might say like or ah on accident. Like I've practiced this aspect of communication skills for quite a while. And sometimes like once every like 3 or 5 minutes I say or ah. And I think that's fine. In fact, I think that's even the best case scenario because it like humanizes you. You're not exactly like Vin Jiang, who never says or ah. So by appearing less professional, you become more human and become more favorable to other people. So as long as like you don't say or ah very frequently, it's like once every 3 minutes, it's fine. So that's the third tip. Don't say or ah or stutter. And the fourth is playfulness and vocal variety. So basically, by playfulness, I mean play with your voice. You add emphasis, right? So for example, oh my, it literally tastes so good. Like, you'll notice what I said there, like, it tasted so good. I played with my voice, it tasted so good, and I also played with my hands and body, right? Playfulness doesn't just mean you play with your voice, you play with your body. You just be playful with how you speak. You add the emphasis and the body language and gestures. You can do all that. Yeah, I don't really know what to say. Just be more playful with your voice. Just add more emphasis. Add more like that pizza, it was so good. I loved it so much. Rather than just saying, yeah, that pizza was like really good, yeah. So, to summarize, 1, down talk more by just making the last word of your sentence slightly deeper. 2, just speak with an overall deeper voice by speaking 10% deeper and 10% slower. 3, stop stuttering or say or ah. That's really bad. And 4, just play with your voice. And also play with your hands as well if you can. And that adds like vocal variety. So those 4 things that I actually use in my life, I found are like really good. And I found like other people who speak in this way are also very likable. You just like them more simply by just their voice, which is really powerful. Your voice, a deep voice is a powerful voice. And yeah, if you have like a good sounding voice, a sweeter sounding voice, people will like you more. And being liked by other people is also like quite an important trait because that allows you to like do leadership and handle relationships, etc. So yeah, those were like 4 tips on how to improve your life, improve your voice. Just choose one that you want to try today, and just go seek a conversation and just apply just one of these tips. You don't have to do all of them; just one is sufficient. All right, see you.